Welcome. If this is your first time practice with me, this is all levels. So if you feel fatigue or something that does not suit your body in the flow, make sure that you do make modifications, even though I will provide all kind of variation as well. But if none of them works for you, simply come into child pose or any other pose that feels restive to you. I know some of you, this is the first time you'll practice, so you might do not have all kind of props like blocks nearby, but try to look for something that can serve at that purpose, like some water bottles or big books that can be supportive in certain postures, including like sitting here. A lot of us tend to lean a little bit, our pelvis kind of lean forward a little bit, which is kind of bad, especially with considering a lot of us sitting a lot these days for our work. So it'd be always helpful to prop yourself sitting on something. And another thing helpful is a blanket. You can also use a couch pillow, especially if you have sensitive knees. Yeah, I think that's about it for today. We do not have a complicated flow, so we don't need too many other props. Give yourself a moment to gather those things that I just mentioned or some replacement for that. If you got everything you need, and come into child pose, Balasana. Push your hands into the mat and push your hips toward your heels. Knees slightly widen them a little bit, so you can rest your chest onto it. If you came from a busy place, close your eyes, or at least soften them. So you can start slowly tuning into the practice. It really depends on what your body is calling for. If your body is calling for low back stretch, you can push into the palms, and so you can push your hips a little bit closer to your heels, which is going to elongate your low back. And if you like to focus a little bit more on chest opening, you can like focus more a little bit sinking your elbows towards the floor and spread your collarbones. We're going to be here for a little bit longer, just as a foundation for the practice. So whichever that feels more comfortable, no matter if it's focusing on the low back elongation or chest opening. If none of them works for you, simply come lie down on your back. If it works for you, you can start breathe in through your mouth. And exhale, head it out, almost like you're fogging a mirror in the bathroom. We'll do a couple more rounds like that. And next round, close your lips, but keep the same texture of your breath. Breathe in through your nose. You can feel the air brushing against the back of your throat. And exhale a little out through your nose. Keep that quality of full dry breath and continue on your own. And with the rhythm of this breath of victory, you can notice that the pose, the sinking with your breath between your palms and the floor, and your rib cage and your thigh bones. I know you're not moving, but keep your fingertips toward the front so your upper body feel growing toward the front of the room. While you have a steady foundation with your torso and your legs. After this round, finish a couple more rounds. Whenever you're ready to come out, slowly blink open your eyes. And push your chest forward. You can adjust your knees so your knees are most hips distance. You can lower your hips toward the ground, kind of like Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog, but we're not lifting our knees away from the floor yet. And exhale, push your hips back to the floor. Inhale, pull your chest forward. And exhale, push your hips back. Pause in between a couple more times on your own pace. Try to match the length of your breathing to the movement instead of the other way around. Once you're ready to come out, bring your wrist right underneath your shoulders and your hips right underneath your hips. Inhale, drop your belly and lift your tailbone up. Pull your chest forward, cow pose. And exhale, push into the palms, round your upper back. Inhale, pull into cow. And exhale, push into cat. Move along with the rhythm of your breath. You can also add some wrist stretch by switching your fingertips, pointing back towards your knees. See if you can move between postures with attention instead of rushing through them. You can even pay a little bit extra attention to that space between your inhale and exhale. Add some pause there. Moving slowly but steadily, building a good foundation for some future growth. Next time when you're back to neutral, start walk your hands toward the front and melt your chest down into Anahastasana. This will be a little bit more opening compared to child pose. And if you like to make it a more active, you can come up onto your fingertips So keep everything else the same. If you're on fingertips, lower them down and thread your right arm underneath your left. Release your right cheek down onto the ground. Option to stay here. Option to extend your left leg long. Waken up the hamstring of the left leg. Only if you feel you're stable on your right arm and your left palm and your right shin, you can start slowly use the strength of the back of the left leg and lift it up. Take one more big inhale here. And exhale, release. Come back to neutral, bring your right palm to the front again. And this time, thread your left arm underneath your right. Release your left cheek down. Give yourself a moment to get comfortable in here. Same as the other side, you can stay here, it's perfectly fine. But if you like to experience it with your right leg, you can step your right leg long. Push into the right heel. And if you like to lift it up, make sure that you push into the back of your left arm first and your right palm, your left shin, then lift up using the strength of the back of the right leg. Find a steady spot in front of you to focus on if you decide to float your right leg. And exhale, everything come back to center. Keep pushing your palms into the ground. Tuck your toes and lift your hips up and start slowly straightening your legs into downward facing dog. If this is first down dog of yours today, make sure that you give yourself time to bend into one leg and another to waken up those hamstrings. And spread your fingertips evenly, pushing to the four corners of your hands. And push your chest toward your thigh bones. Once you found stillness in your downward facing dog, you can bring your feet together and lift up your left leg and bend your left knee. Stack your left hip over your right. Your body might tend to collapse to the right hand. Try to push into the left hand so you can even your shoulders to be parallel to the mat. And exhale, draw your left knee into the chest and step it between the hands. Lower your back knee down. Bring your left hand inside of your left foot. Spin your right shin 90 degrees. Extend your right arm up. Push your left arm out and around. Push your left arm into the left thigh bone and push the left thigh bone into the left arm. So there's a resistance in between them. Take one big inhale. And exhale, cover your arms all the way up. Gate pose. You can extend your left leg long. And exhale, reverse. Left hand to the left shin, side bend to the left side. Push into the pinky edge of the left foot. And exhale, cover your right hand down, left hand up. Supported side plank. You can stay here. You can also lift your left leg to the height of the hip. Reaching toward the sky through those left fingertips. Next, release your left hand down no matter where you are. Push into both hands and pull your right knee into your chest. And step your right foot in between your hands and walk your hands to the left side. Side bend to the left leg, straighten your right, and side bend to the right, straighten the left. Switch in between Skandasana. You can also choose to flex your feet the straightened leg and point the toes toward the sky. Go with your own pace. Next time when you're to the left leg, release your right knee down. Right hand down. Come up to the pinky edge of your left foot and open your left knee to the left side. Use the left hand, gently push the inside of your left thigh and push it open. Rotate your chest toward the sky. Release your right shoulder away from your right ear. And exhale, left hand down, step your left foot back towards your right. Come into a high plank. Take one big inhale. And exhale, knees up or down. Depends on your wrist. And slowly bend your elbows. Chaturanga, all the way down onto your belly. Cactus your arms. And bring your hands toward your elbows where they are. And point your elbows toward the sky. Inhale, lift the chest up. Exhale, release chest down. Let's do it twice more. Make sure that you're pushing into the top of the feet. So your legs are kind of going toward the back and your chest facing forward. So you are not compressing on your low back. And exhale, release down, hands by the chest, and push into child pose. From child pose, walk your hands far away from you. You can tuck your toes, lift your knees away from the ground, and lift your hips up and straighten the legs. We're back in Ardha Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Bring the feet together. And lift up your right leg. Bend your right leg, stack your right hip over the left. Same as the other side, focus a little bit more onto the right hand so your shoulder is not leaning toward the left side. Your left heel might naturally fall toward the ground, which is gonna create a big stretch of your left hamstring. And exhale, draw your right knee into the chest. Step it in between the hands. Lower your left knee down. Bring your right hand inside of your right leg. Spin your left shin 90 degrees. And extend your left arm up. Create a resistance between your right arm and your right thigh bone again. Rotate your chest. Rotate your rib cage toward the sky. So let the right hip open. One big inhale. And exhale, cover your arms up. Reaching to both fingertips. And extend your right leg long. Push into the pinky edge of the right foot. And exhale, right hand onto the right shin. Extend the left arm by the left ears. Come all the way up. Release the left hand down to the ground, right arm up. You can keep your right foot tap on the ground. You can also lift it up to the height of the hip. If you lift it up, perhaps flex your right foot, push into the right heel. So you're using the strength of the right side of the right leg to keep it floating. You can extend the right arm by the right ear. Let the right waist grow. And exhale, release right hand down. Adjust your hands to be shoulder distance. And release your right foot down. And pull left knee into the chest. Step left foot in between the hands. Walk yourself to the right side. And bend into the right leg. This time, option to bring your hands as prayer in front of your heart when you're doing Skandasana, which means less support for you since you're moving more surface away from the ground. Move slowly with control. Next time when you bend into the right leg again, release both hands down, release the left knee. Come up onto your right pinky edge of the foot. And use the right hand, gently push the right knee open. Make sure your left shoulder is not piking towards your left ear. And turn your chest toward the sky. One more big inhale. And exhale, release your right hand down, step your right foot towards the back, come into high plank. Pull your navel towards your spine and push into both heels. Take one big inhale. Knees up or down, move to vinyasa and lower down all the way to your belly. Cactus your arms, your elbows 90 degrees. And bring the hands to where the elbows were and come up onto the tips of the fingers. Pike the elbows toward the sky. Inhale, lift the chest up. Exhale, dip the right shoulder down. Inhale up. Next, dip the left. Twice more on each side. Next time when you're down, hands by the chest, and push yourself into Balasana, child pose. Feel free to stay in this child pose a little bit longer if you need. Otherwise, tuck your toes, lift your knees up, straighten your legs, come into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. The bottom of the next exhale, step by step, or hop forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Now exhale, fold the legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center by the side, Tadasana. We'll flow through a couple rounds of Surya Namaskar A and Salute A. If you have other kind of salute in your practice, please go for it. If this is your first time practicing Sun Salute, I'll cue you through it. Inhale, arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold the legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen the spine, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step left and right into high plank. Take a big inhale. And exhale, knees up or down, bend your elbows, keep hugging your elbows towards the chest. And inhale, pull your chest forward, straighten your arms, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, push your tailbones up into downward facing dog. Pause here for a moment, 3 to 5 rounds of breath. This is a chance to reflect and realign your practice to make sure that you are not overstretching yourself, but you're also not sitting out what you can do. Try to gaze on a certain spot instead of wandering around, perhaps between your feet. Then also close your eyes. Bottom of the next exhale, step by step, a hop forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold over the legs. Rise all the way up. Exhale, enter heart center. By the side, that's one round. We'll flow 2 more rounds together. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, step right and left. High plank. Push into the palms. Exhale, bend to your elbows. Release down. Inhale, pull your chest forward. Ardha Mukha Svanasana. And exhale, push your tailbones up. Straighten both legs. Downward facing dog. Pause here for a moment. And bottom of the next exhale, step by step, a hop forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold over the legs. Rise all the way up. And exhale, this time let's directly bow down to the ground. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, step left or right. You can also bend your elbows and jump directly into Chaturanga. Inhale, pull into Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, push your tailbones up. Bottom of the next exhale, step by step, a hop forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold over the legs. Rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center, by the side. Float 2 more rounds on your own so you can cultivate ownership of your own practice. Now be quiet, so we'll meet in downward facing dog. So with your own pace of your own breath, instead of moving with mine. When you step by step to the front, it can be 2 steps. It can also be many, many steps. If you're done with your 2 rounds, you can step by step or go through one more half round to get into downward facing dog. If you're still flowing, take your time. We're not rushing here. Everybody wraps their destination differently at different time. Just like in the spring season, you see all kind of plants that tipping out of the soil, the dark soil, differently and at different time. And once you arrive in downward facing dog, bring your feet together. Lift up your left leg. And draw your left knee into your left elbow. Inhale, extend your left leg long. Exhale, left knee, tap your right elbow. One more time. Left knee to left elbow. And tap it to the right. Bring it back to the left. Last time to the right. And shoot out your left leg to the right side. Extend your right arm up, fallen triangle. Push into your left palm. Push your hips up. Gaze can to the side, or you can all the way to those right fingertips. Release your right hand down. Draw your left knee into the chest. And step left foot outside of the left hand. Lower your right knee down. As before, come up to the pinky edge of the left foot. Use the left hand to gently open the left knee. Option to stay here. Option to pull your right heel into your right sit bone and reach back with the left hand. And perhaps grab the right foot with the left hand. If you have a thin mat, try to pad a pillow or blanket underneath your right knee. If you don't have anything nearby, you can fold the right edge of your mat slightly in. If you have the bind, carefully let it go without a slingshot. Release your left hand down and shimmy your left foot into between of the mat and spin down your right heel. Left hand inside of the left foot. I'll switch side. And as we were doing earlier, that create a resistance between the left thigh bone and your left arm bone. Extend your right arm up, side angle. Use the lead of the right arm to help you to open your chest. And the exhale, come all the way up into warrior 2. Push into the right pinky and bend into the left leg. Pull towards both fingertips, towards the opposite directions. And exhale, straighten both legs. Close your palms above you. And release down, bend into your left leg and open your arms. Inhale. And exhale, bend into your left leg. One more time. And reverse the warrior. Right hand to the right shin. Left arm by your left ear. And come back up. Straighten your left leg. You can bring your right foot slightly in. Reach your left hand toward the front until you reach a sticky point that you cannot go forward anymore. And release your left hand down onto the left shin or onto the ground or onto a block if you have one. And keep your right arm up. Trikonasana triangle pose. pull your left hip in toward the midline instead of letting it spring out. And continue push into the right pinky. And bend into your left leg. Bring your left hand about 6 inches away from your left pinky foot. And lift your right leg up into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. If your left foot feels fatigued today, you can keep your right foot on the ground, but keep the minimum weight onto it. So you still can kind of practicing putting weight onto your left foot. If your right leg is floating, flex your right foot so you can push into the right heel. Imagine that you're stomping on the wall behind you with that right foot. One more big inhale. And exhale, release your right hand down. Slowly release your right leg, right foot to meet with your left. And fold over the legs, Uttanasana. Rise all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center, by the side. Bring yourself to close to a wall for some support, or you can bring a chair nearby you, especially if you feel balancing is challenging to you. Once you have everything set up, you can rest your right hand onto the wall. And draw your left knee into the chest. And open the left leg to the left side. You can bring that left foot, can lean on the right ankle, right calf, or above the right knee into a Vrikshasana, tree pose. And get your hands in front of your heart. Find the justice spot in front of you to focus on. Hugging your right outer hip in and push into the right foot. But don't forget to open the left knee. And if you got a steady tree pose, and start raise your prayer toward the sky to grow your tree. And start slowly release your prayer down to your heart and cross your left ankle over your right knee. Sit into figure 4. We're just passing by here. And slide your left foot down and cross your legs, fold over the legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Next, exhale, step your right foot back and left, come into high plank. Release knees down, push into child pose for a quick rest. Once you're done with resting, tuck your toes, lift your knees up, straighten your legs, and bring the feet together. We'll do the other side. Lift up your right leg, and tap your right knee into your right elbow. Inhale, extend back. And exhale, right knee, left elbow. Inhale, kick it back. Exhale, right knee to right elbow and to the left elbow. Back to the right, back to the left. And kick right leg out straight this time. Extend your left arm up, push into your right palm. Push your hips toward the sky. Release hands down. Draw your right knee into the chest and step it outside of your right foot, right hand. Lower your left knee down. Push into the left hand. Use your right hand, gently push your right knee open. Option to stay here. Option to pull your left heel into your left sit bone and reach back with your right hand. Perhaps grab that left foot with that right hand. But continue to kick that left foot into the right hand so you create a back bend here. If you have the bind, slowly let it go. Shimmy your right foot into the center of the mat. Spin down your left foot, right hand inside of your right foot, hugging your right arm bone and your right thigh bone together, and reach your left hand toward the sky. Push into the pinky edge of the left foot. Bend into the right leg. One big inhale. And exhale, rise all the way up into warrior two rather. Continue push into the pinky edge of the left foot. Your right knee slightly toward the right upper corner of the mat. Inhale, straighten both legs. Hold your palms above you. And exhale, back into warrior two. Inhale. And exhale, bend into warrior two. One more time. And side bend to the left. Right arm by your right ear. Continue bend into the right leg. And come all the way up. Straighten both legs. Bring your left foot slightly in. And reaching your right hand to the front. And release your right hand onto the right shin. It can be on the block or on the ground. Depending on your body portion. But make sure that you're not compressing that right side waist too much. If you are, make sure your hand is on something, even though you might be able to get your right hand on the floor, but not necessarily the best for you. Bend into your right leg. Bring your right hand about 6 inches away from your right pinky. And use a little strength of the left leg. And start slowly push weight into the right foot and lift it all the way up. Same as the other side. You can keep your left foot tapped on the ground. Find a spot to the left side you can focus on, or can be on the ground. But if you're really, really advanced, you can also start shifting your gaze toward the sky. Flex the left foot, push into the left heel. And release your left hand down. Slowly release your left foot to meet with your right. And fold over the legs. Inhale, rise all the way up. Now exhale, hands to heart center. Bring yourself back to the wall if you know you're gonna need it. And start shift the weight into the left foot. Put weight evenly to the corners of the left foot. And draw your right knee into the chest. And open the right knee toward the right side. You can release the right foot onto the floor, lean on your left ankle, and onto your left shin. You can also bring it all the way into your left inner thigh. Tuck your left outer hip in and push into the left foot. Reach the crown of the head toward the sky and continue to open the right knee. Get your hands in front of your heart. And if you like to, you can raise your prayer all the way up toward the sky. Next exhale, lower down your prayer. Cross your right ankle over your left knee and sit into figure 4. Lower your hips down. Continue press your right knee down. And slide your right foot down into a cross leg, fold over. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Next, exhale, step your left foot and right back into high plank. Release the knees down and push your hips back into a child pose. A couple of long breath here. Some of you might receive my email last night regarding Cappadocia, which is often associated with the early spring and late winter. The mix of water and the earth element that creates that kind of slowness but steadiness. But it's also based on that slowness and steadiness that we were able to grow into something. Just like all the plants that break out the seed, break out the soil, and grow toward the light. And when you're done with resting, tuck your toes, lift your knees up, and push your hips up into downward facing dog. And bring the feet together. Lift up your left leg. And draw your left knee into the chest. Tap your left knee to the left elbow and to the right elbow just for one time. And kick out that left leg. Perhaps this time keep your left foot lift away from the ground if you can. Release your right hand down, draw your left knee into your chest, and step your left foot outside of the left hand. Many options here. You can stay in right palm down, left hand, push your left knee open. You can move toward the direction of create the bind with your left arm and your right leg. You can also lower your down onto your right elbow with a bind, which is more of your cross stretch if you are on your elbows. But if you're on your right palm, the bind will focus a little bit more on your chest opening, back bending. Wherever you are, shimmy your left foot into the center and spin down your right foot. Left hand inside of your left leg, right arm up. Push your right thigh bone into your left arm, left thigh bone into your left arm bone. And rise all the way up. Warrior 2. Side bend. This time, you can rest your right hand on your right shin. You can also wrap your right arm behind your back for a little bit more chest opening. And slide the right hand into your left hip crease. Come all the way up. Straighten both legs. Bring your right foot slightly in. Reach your left hand forward. And release your left hand down onto the shin or onto the ground. Extend your right arm by your right ear. Extend it. Triangle pose. Which is going to create a stronger stretch of your right side body. Bend into left leg. Bring your left hand about 6 inches away from your left foot. And launch into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. Stack your right hip over your left. Flex your right foot. Press that right heel. Option to stay here. You can also bend your right leg and grab the right foot with your right hand and kick the right knee up. Whatever kind of variation you are, make sure you find that just a spot somewhere that you can focus on. Release everything down. Fold over the legs. Rise all the way up. Exhale and feel heart center. Bring yourself close to the wall if you know you need it. And start shift the weight onto your right foot. Depends on how did you grow your tree in the last round. Option 2, find a block and step your right foot onto the block. Enjoy your left knee into the chest. And open the left knee. You can bring that left foot to your right ankle, right calf, or to the right inner thigh. With the block, you might grow your tree a couple inches longer and taller. Find a spot in front of you to gaze on. Option to raise your prayer toward the sky. Even if you are not on the block, you can try to grow your tree a little bit longer by raise your arms up. You can also branch out your arms. Press firmly into the right foot. And bend your right leg, cross your left ankle with your right knee. Sit into figure 4. If you're on the block, directly step down and fold over the legs. If you're not on the block, you can go back to that cross leg folding that we did in the last round. And step back into a high plank. Lower your knees down, push into child pose. Push into the hands so you can push your hips a little bit closer to your heels. It doesn't have to happen, but it goes towards a direction. Push your hips toward the back. Once you're ready to come out, tuck your toes, straighten both legs, lift your tailbones up. Bring your feet together. Lift up your right leg. And draw your right knee into the chest. Tap your right knee to your right elbow and to the left. Option to kick the right leg out straight without landing it on the ground. Pushing firmly into the right palm. Left hand down, draw your right knee back into the chest, and step your right foot outside of right hand. Lower your left knee down. Open the right knee. Come up onto the pinky edge of the right foot. And use the right hand to push open the right knee. Option to stay here. Option to create a bind with the right arm and your left foot. You can also come down to your left elbows or both elbows. You can also create a bind there as well. Which is going to give a deeper stretch of your left quads. Rotate your chest up toward the sky. Release your left knee down. Shimmy your right foot into the mid of the mat. Spin down your left foot. Right hand inside of your right foot. Extend your left arm up. Press your right arm into the right thigh bone. And push into the right palm, push yourself all the way up into a warrior two. Push into the left pinky edge of the foot. And side bend to the left. Option to wrap your left arm around your low back. Slide your left hand into your right hip crease. And come into warrior two. Straighten both legs. Shimmy your left foot slightly in. And reaching your right hand toward the front. Release your right hand down onto the ground. Lift up your left palm towards the sky. Option to bring your left arm by your left ear into an extended Trikonasana. Bend into your right leg. Bring your right hand to the front and shift the weight into your right foot. And start slowly slide your left leg up toward the sky into Ardha Chandrasana. Find the spot to focus on first. Then option to bend your left leg. Grab your left ankle with your left hand and kick the left knee up toward the sky. Release everything down. Slowly step your left foot to meet with your right. Rise all the way up. And exhale, hands to your heart center. Bring yourself close to wall one last time. Perhaps you find the block again to grow your tree a little bit taller. And step your left foot onto the block if you have it. Find yourself comfortable and steady on whatever surface you're stepping on first. And draw your right knee into the chest. Open the right knee to the right side. You can bring your right foot to your left ankle, left calf, or above your right knee, your left knee to your left inner thigh. Press your right heel into the left inner thigh and hug in your left outer hip. Press your right knee open and down toward the ground. And gather your hand in front of your heart. Find a spot in front of you to focus on first. Then option to grow your tree taller by reaching your prayer towards the sky. You can keep your palms together. You can also branch out your trees. Bring down your branches and cross your right ankle over your left knee and sit into a figure 4. Flex your right foot, keep your right knee open. Release your hips down. One more big inhale. Next, step off to the ground and step into high plank. Release knee down and push into child pose. From child pose, bring your right knee behind your right wrist and your right foot behind your left wrist. Find something like a pillow, fold it, or blanket underneath your right hip for support. Half pigeon. And release down onto your elbows. Option to stay here. Option to stack your hands on top of each other and rest your forehead on the top. Just let the back of your left leg relax. It's been doing a lot of weight bearing work for you. And let your right outer hip stretch, which we have been hugging in and now standing balancing. Option to stay here. This is a great cooling down pose. But if you like to experiment with something else, like involves shoulder movement and back bend, you can come all the way up and pull your left heel in and grab the left ankle with the left hand. And also slide the left foot into your left elbow and bend your right elbow above your head. And perhaps walk your hands and grasp them together. Mermaid pose. If you're still on forehead on the top of your hands, slowly come up. If you're in mermaid pose, release the bind and step your right foot back, step your left foot forward and lower your right knee down into a low lunge. So we are reopening the space that we've been compressing. Both hands down. Release your left knee down behind your left wrist. Your left foot behind your right hand. You can switch the folded blanket or pillow to underneath your left hip. Each side can be really different. And start slowly lower down. And stack your hands. Rest your forehead on the top. Switch the stacking if you can remember which hand is on top last time. Probably the unusual way, because oftentimes we go with a more familiar way in the first time. a couple more long breaths here. Just let the back of the right leg to relax. And same thing in this side, you can stay where you are, stay in half pigeon. And if you like the more active posture, you can come all the way up and pull your right heel into your right sit bone and grab the right ankle with the right hand. You can also slide that right foot into your right elbow and bend your left elbow and walk your hands together. If you're down in half pigeon, slowly support yourself to come up and step your left foot back, step your right foot forward into a low lunge. Come sit on your hips. Bend your legs. Extend your arms forward. Stretch your scapulas away from each other. Option to stay here. Option to lift one leg to be parallel with the ceiling. And perhaps the other as well. Option to straighten both legs. Come into full boat pose. Tuck your chin toward the chest and start slowly. And exhale, slowly release down to the ground. Extend the arms over the head. Walk your heels away from you. One last full body stretch. Bend your legs in, close to your sit bones. One last little bit back bend. Hands by the side. You can also cactus your arms and lift your hips up into an active bridge pose. Push your pelvis bone towards the sky. Hugging your knees together. Imagine there's a block in between your knees. Especially we've been open our hips mostly, so our knees might tend to sling open. So imagine you're squeezing something between your thighs. If you feel like you're fatigued at this point, slide a block underneath your sacrum for a supported bridge pose. One more big inhale. Next, start slowly release your mid back, your low back, and your tailbone down. Hug your knees into the chest. You can add some circles here. And release both knees to the left side. Extend your right arm out. Keep your right shoulder into the ground. If to keep your right shoulder on the ground means your left knee cannot touch the ground, can stack something like a block or blanket underneath your knees. Breathe into your right shoulder and send it all the way to your right fingertips. Let that right arm grow long. And come back to center. Release the knees to the right side. Extend your left arm toward the left side.
Make sure your left shoulder is on the ground. Your right hand can be on the top of your knees. Take a more long breath here. And come all the way back to center. Spread out your legs, your arms. Just sink the back of your body into the space beneath you. Shavasana.
If you're not rushing to anywhere after this, and if you like to stay, please feel free to stay wherever you are. If you're ready to come out, gently bend one leg and another close to you, and roll onto one side. Use the hands to support yourself to come all the way up. It can be a cross-legged seat. It can be hero pose, sitting on your heels. Keep the palms facing down, leaving them somewhere that not distracting. Eyes still closed, if you can. If it resonates with you, bring your hands to your heart as prayer. Take one more big inhale. And exhale, let everything out. Bow your head towards your heart. Slowly blink open your eyes. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I'll stop recording.